Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a bit of a sad one, shall we say. As you can see, the car is in the garage. I didn't film it yesterday, but I went out in the Astra and parked up, turned the car off and noticed a load of smoke coming from the passenger side under the bonnet. So she turned it off straight away and kind of just sat, wasn't quite sure what it was. Texted my uncle a couple of times saying I'm not sure what's happened because I've had a little bit of a light. I've had a light on the dash regarding my battery, so I wasn't sure whether possibly the battery was overheating and trying to set on fire. So ended up coming back to the car and noticed kind of basically like a trail of where I'd reversed into the space. There was just like a little dotted trail, which I'd seen a couple of days ago, and I assumed that it was the aircon because I had the aircon on. But yesterday I didn't have it on, so I thought, oh, I'll get down underneath the car just to make sure nothing's leaking. And I was met with a puddle, and there's a puddle now here with it being in the garage. So I'm going to show you basically what I was met with. So if we just get down. And as you can see there, that is just a massive puddle. So, we're not exactly sure what's happened just yet. This is kind of it's just been sat. I only got it back last night, got it back into the garage. There's an issue, fault, with the power steering. I'm not sure whether possibly a pipe broke, steering rack, or anything like that. At the moment, I've literally just taken off the airbox at the moment and just try to have a look down in the area below the reservoir, which is obviously just there. And I can't see anything particular. I'm not sure whether it's possibly the hose coming from the reservoir. But yeah, so I managed to get it to a Halfords. But obviously this car, unfortunately, only takes... Let me just grab it for you. It has to be nice and awkward. This car only takes the Dexron 5. That's basically what it says to get. And Halfords only had Dexron 2 and 3. So I spoke to my uncle and said, what do I do? Because I still need to get the car back. He said just buy it and put it in. The thing is, the way it was leaking, it wasn't going to stay in the system for very long. I then got 5 miles down the road and it was completely empty. The steering was heavy, there was smoke coming, and it had dropped the rest of that oil. Well, the fluid that I'd put in. So at that point, I must admit, I give up. I was not feeling comfortable driving this car at all, not with it smoking, and I thought the power steering obviously is a big thing, and for this size car, I had issues driving it the last time when the belt went and the pump wasn't being driven. So my uncle ended up coming to pick me up. He came in with his car and he drove the Astra back after having a quick look at obviously the roadside. I did manage to pull into some services. He had a look, couldn't see anything in particular, said that it possibly looks as if I've hit something or something's jumped up like kind of behind the wheel, because one of the wires that is behind there attached to the strut, the clip had broken, which obviously possibly sounds as though I've hit something and it's bounced up and broke that. So he ended up driving it back, and I obviously drove his car, and then it's just kind of been parked up since, and then I've obviously come to look at it today. So this all happened yesterday. Wasn't the best days, but obviously, as you can see, just from it being parked in the garage overnight and throughout this day, it's left a puddle. And see if I can... You might be able to hear the rain that's just started as well. So I mean, you can see there, it's relatively empty now. Again, and that was just filled, well, it hasn't actually been filled up, so it got filled up twice, and yeah, it probably is about half a litre of fluid it's just dropped instantly through it. So I just thought I'd come down today and have a quick look, basically. I'm sorry about the lighting there. Yeah, just have a quick look, see if there's anything obvious. So obviously I've taken the airbox off, it's removed, and looking at like the underneath on that, I can't see anything that's kind of showing as if like the fluid's been leaking. But when I have, again, I'll just grab my phone just as the torch, had a look. So if you give me 2 seconds, let me face you around here at the hose. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. Just the kind of one in the middle of the picture, with the little clip on. So I'm trying to hold the camera here with one hand whilst using the phone as a torch. So this hose just here, the one that's not in focus, of course, but it's basically, it's a little bit damp, and it comes out of the bottom of the reservoir. So I'm not sure whether possibly that has a hole, slip, whether it's cracked or anything like that, but that's possibly the first thing I'll look at properly. Obviously it's not going to be done today, I just wanted to get the video kind of started today. Sorry, just turning the torch off my phone. Yeah, I just wanted to get it started today, and then obviously I don't have this at the moment, so I'm driving one of my uncle's cars, which he's very kindly lent me. I'm very appreciative of that. So yeah, so let's, I suppose, get into this video of me trying to work out what's broken on the power steering. You're getting the car up on the lift. I've obviously been looking, and if we spin the camera around, so that's where I believe possibly the pipe has snapped. It's behind this heat shield. That's obviously attached to the steering rack, and there is two of the, obviously both the high and low pressure lines go to be like behind this heat shield just here. So there's 3 bolts. Let's just see if I can get, there's one there, and you can see the 2 just there. So we're gonna get them off. I'll get you set up on the tripod and just kind of get a rough angle of me working, and we will get the heat shield off, and then we'll have a further look, because even though that's where we're sure the pipe's basically broken, we still need to just double check before I order a pipe. So we'll get that sorted, and then we'll move on from there. Right, okay, so I've ended up taking the wheel off because getting to it from underneath is pretty hard. Basically, I don't think the camera's going to focus that well, but you can just kind of see, if I zoom out a little bit more, the little white bit right in the middle of the screen. I'm trying to get it to focus. Come on. Basically, the pipe is literally all the way back here. So getting to it from underneath, you couldn't actually access it. So obviously what I've done is I've taken the wheel off, lowered it a little bit so that I can get into it. And I'm hopefully going to get it taken out, and then obviously take out the kind of the tank from the top, and hopefully the pipe should just come out with it, so to speak. So managed to get the heat shield undone, so that is out the way now. I couldn't get it out because of the shape. You had to basically take the cat and the rest of the exhaust off just to get the heat shield out, which I thought for the sake of this job it's not worth it. So I've moved it out of the way so I can definitely get access now. So I'll get that taken out, and then, as I say, I'll hopefully join you again once I've got the pipe out and the tank out, and then obviously we can assess the damage from there. Alright, okay, got the pipe off eventually. It was a bit difficult, obviously. Had to remove the wheel, turn it, and then if I had moved the heat shield just a bit further over towards the passenger side, I could just kind of get a spanner on top and then unloosen it. Getting it out has been a difficult process, because obviously the pipe itself, so I'll show you the damage in a second, it obviously has like all these bends, and it's only really flexible at the top. It's only really flexible here, like the bottom's fairly like stiff basically. So getting it out's been a bit of an issue, but I definitely believe this is the problem, because when we look at it, as you can see, all and that's not from getting it out either, there is holes in the pipe there. I'm potentially going to cut this conduit, I believe that's the word anyway, the piping off, just to make sure that it is definitely this. And then obviously I can get another one ordered as soon as possible. Yeah, so as I say, I'll get this cut off, just this part here, I'll get it cut off and definitely check that this is it, but this is definitely where the fluid was coming from, even when I've just turned the wheel to kind of to get in access. It's definitely been coming from that area, so we'll get it cut off and then I'll come back to you guys. Right, okay, so obviously we've cut away the pipe with the outer shield on it, and there you can obviously see that. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. I don't want to spike myself with these fibres on the inside of this, like I've just done that. So the pipe's actually split from the metal clamp, like basically the holder here, so you can see there. And straight away, as soon as I cut this, I noticed that straight away. So we'll have to get a new one of these ordered. That's not an issue, we'll get one ordered. It'll probably be a couple of days before it arrives, so as I say, we'll get a couple of other bits and bobs done in the meantime, get the garage cleaned up, and yeah, we'll just wait for this to arrive now. Alright, okay guys, so I finally received the new power steering hose, brand new from Vauxhall. Just in case anybody needs it, there is the part number, and this is the low pressure line. That's the one that I was requiring. So I've just opened it just to have a quick look, but as you can see, it's got the cap on there, cap on the bottom, all brand new. So we're going to get that fitted, give the power steering reservoir a fill, and fingers crossed nothing leaks. Let's just get you set up on the tripod and we'll get this one fitted now. Right, okay, so I've gotten the clip off the old one, because the new one doesn't come with a clip, and obviously I've got the reservoir bottle just here. It is completely empty, so don't worry, when I am lifting it up, nothing is going to spill. Obviously what I need to do is connect these two, and I'm going to put the clip on first and then connect it to the reservoir. So need to give this a bit of a wiggle. And there we go. So now that's on, we're going to connect it to the bottle. And come on. And that's perfect. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the clip just hanging, and I'm going to get it all fitted up, and then obviously I will tighten the clip up where I need it to go. So I'm going to release that. Oh, Right. Sorry, so now we've got the hose on, got the clamp. I've spoken to other people and I'm still not quite sure what this second clamp is for, like this second clip. It's just quite random, nobody really has an idea of it, but... So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to move his back. And what I'm going to do is just feed the wire down, the hose, sorry. To there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to try and look from underneath the car as well, just to see if I can kind of pull it through, because it will get caught a little bit. But if I grab my torch, it might give us a little bit more of a view to it. See what we're going to do. I'm going to take the reservoir off because I feel like it's just getting in the way for now, so right. Right, okay, so that's now fallen in place. Not sure if you can see it there. There's the hose right in the middle. It's obviously fallen down now. So what I'm going to do is get underneath into the kind of the arch and look at it from there and pull it through. So we'll get you up on the tripod in the arch and get that sorted. Okay, so you can obviously see the hose there. Obviously we've got the kind of conduit bit and the actual hose. So it needs to filter back up past the steering rack here. So I'm going to get that done. I'm going to try and get you set up, but it may not work, so you may just see it from underneath the car when I obviously pop the hose back into the pump. Okay, so I know I haven't filmed a lot because I just kind of wanted to get on with it and get it done, but if we have a look here, there we go. Jeez, this light's really not good. The reservoir is basically back in now, as you can see there. All of the pipes are connected, so both the low pressure and the one from the actual pump. So now that all that's left really to do is just to fill it up, start the car, and then obviously turn the steering wheel and see whether we have a leak still or not. I'm really hoping that we don't, because if we do, I don't know what else it could be. Obviously that pipe was really badly damaged, so we didn't particularly look any further because that showed straight away that it was the issue. So we'll get you set up on a tripod now, and I'll fill it up. I've got the correct fluid in the back of the car. We'll get it filled up and we'll give it a test from there. So I've got the lights set up on the other side. I know it is quite bright. Actually, there we go. So we get a bit of a better look now. So the leak was coming from about, I think it was around this area. So I'm going to start the car. Well, I'm just going to put it into accessory and start turning the steering wheel. I need to fill it up first, but obviously you guys will get the first look as to whether it's going to carry on leaking or whether it's not anymore. Okay, so I've just obviously been editing the video, and I've realised I haven't actually filmed an ending for it. So fitting the new hose did actually fix the leak, and once I'd obviously fixed the leak, I topped up the fluid as you've seen, made sure, and I pulled it out of the garage. Obviously put it on the ground so that there was some kind of pressure against the wheels. Had a good turn of the steering wheel, checked the level, filled it back up, and done that a couple of times. Then once that had stopped, like, kind of filled in all the gaps in the system, it was fine. As I say, I've had no more leaking since. Steering's felt fine. It did feel a little bit heavy to start with, but I think that was more because of the car I was using. Kind of when this was off the road, it had very light steering, so I think that was just a little bit of a kind of getting used to it again, so to speak. But as I said, it's all working now. Great, I've been driving it, loving the car again. So yeah, and as always guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, let me know any feedback, anything that you have dealt with. Yeah, bye bye. What you need, tell me what you need, tell me what you need, tell me